Morning movers, morning shakers. Which one are you this morning, or are you both? Good morning and welcome. If you're doing catch up on Facebook or YouTube, then you're in the right spot if you need this morning movement snack. Like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and then you'll be notified of when we get our updated movement snacks on, which is normally every Monday. There are 6 selected from the week that's just gone, and today is the last day of the week that's just gone, and then they'll be on the movement library there on YouTube. I'm just going to move my camera a little bit. I can see a little bit of red. There we go. You just come in on adjustments there, Bex. There was a little red hue going on at the top, but it's sorted now, hopefully. Right, so how are we all feeling today? Are you bright and breezy? Are you ready for an uncrumpling? This is my last movement slot for this week, and then it's all shift change for us. Blob removal, got it, yes. Red blob removal from the, I always call them pie trods, from the pie trod that I'm using. So we've got 2 of the LLTers that are in first. We got Bex, tick. We got Bob, tick. For a full house, we just need Dawn and Dave. Here he is, look, as if by magic, Dave's signing in. Dave, tick. We've got a top trio of LLTers that have just signed in. Here's Red Rita, my timekeeper, hopefully, or my time adjudicator. Di's in. How you feeling this morning, Di? All good? Ready to go? Did you have a read of my motivational movement message this morning? You might have done. You might just have thrown yourself out of bed. Shrewsbury's in. Morning, Shrewsbury. Buffering. Not more of Bob's bufferings. Big waves today in Amble then. You're not far from Hadrian's Wall, are you, Bob? Francis is in. Good morning, Francis. Are you Bristol? Thanks for your message. I read that this morning, actually. I actually scared myself half to death this morning. Yeah, Bristol for Francis. I flew out of bed. You know when you wake up in a panic? Oh, I'm late for the mission. It was 6:30. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. It was 6:30 rather than 7:30 that my brain thought it was. So after getting up and having a high heart rate for a few minutes, I was able to snatch an extra half hour in bed. Yes, it's always a success, that, isn't it? Right, Maddie's in. Gillian from the J from the PTP is here. And if you're not sure what a PTP is, it's a Port Talbot posse. Dave and I make up the Midlands Massive. We've got a collective, the Day Chapel Collective, and we've got a Port Talbot posse. I'm actually surrounded again by hungry cats. We'll see what happens here today. Right, George is in with a 7:59 call. Sheila's in with the collective ready to go. Good morning, Vivian and Paul. Great to have you here with us. I know the cat's just tucked himself in the corner of the cabinet there, wanting to get going with us. Right, the mission today then is, of course, a movement mission. Should you accept, we will start our circulation boosting in a 3, 2, 1 when I get the nod. Right, have we got Mrs. P in? Yes, we have. We've got Carol in as well from a Kelsey, wild day but sun's out. Not Kelsey's wild. Anyway, let's move on. Swipe the comments to the side if you like, if you want to see the full screen. If you want to keep the comments on, then Bex, Dave, Bob may well put up some supporting comments to the stuff that I'm doing, just to give you an extra an extra something. Right, let's get going. Swipe. I'm swiping. 3, 2, 1. Good morning and welcome. Today is Sunday, the 5th of July. My name's Kelsey Leverton and here we are with our 8 a.m. movement snack. We're bagging those extra movement minutes. Any movement minute matters here, so it doesn't matter how big or how small you start, it's yours to take for the benefits bag, of course. Let's get moving then. Right, move that out the way. In standing, have a think what's around you. You may need to take up some support at different points if you are doing this mission in a standing position from start to finish. So have a look what's around you, what you can have in front of you that's sturdy and reliable. In the seat, the most optimum position for us to work in is our forwards position in the chair. So you're on the kind of the front third of the chair. Taking a hip walk back if you need to give your posture a little bit of a break at any point as well. Here we are with, let's do arms today. I'll throw in a bit of arms first of all. So if you're in the seat, get one arm on the go. If that feels all right for you, then both arms can be moving together. In standing, we've got an option of support. Have a think just where your feet are. If they are quite narrow and together, then that may throw you a bit of a balance challenge. So hip distance or a little bit wider tends to give us a better, more solid sound base of support. So you can be moving one arm whilst holding on to the sideboard or whatever you've got next to you, or if you feel stable, confident, steady in standing, moving through with both arms together, swinging from the shoulders. Oh, I can feel my tummy rumbling a little bit. All right, so you might want to start small with any of these movements, but then as your body starts to loosen up, warm up, the muscles are working a little bit more, then you might want to make the movements that bit bigger. Not faster, just bigger. Just make them much larger. And in effect, if you have got bigger movements, your movement might slow down a little bit. Take a pause there with arms. Let's get down to these ankle, feet, toes, legs, hips, knees, ankles, shoulders, knees and toes. I think that's what I sung yesterday, wasn't it? So we've got some heel pumps, some heel lifts, whereby we're trying to get a crease across the tops of your toes so we can get those joints moving as well as the ankle joints, the hips and the knees. In seated, same movement. The only thing is here you're probably not getting much joint action at the knees. There's a little bit going on in the hips and a bit more when we bring into a full march, if that feels all right for you. Okay, we can start to feed one arm in to the mix with our two legs on the go, and then the other arm if that feels okay. All the while just thinking about what's happening around your middle, your posture, lengthening through the spine. So with arms and legs going, we can have one arm and both the legs, of course, and at some point have a changeover so that the other arm has a go as well. So we've got an even share of the load with both sides. So this serves to just boost your circulation, get everything moving, a bit more warmth throughout the muscles and the joints as well, and we do know that joints move better when they've got some warmth installed into them. Right, circulation boosting then should just leave you needing to take one or two deep breaths. Your heart rate may have raised a bit and your breathing may have come up a little bit as well, but not too much. Take a pause there. Have a think where you're sitting or standing. We're moving into our shoulder lifts and then shoulder rolls. Taking up a bit of support behind you can allow you to just move both arms at the same time. So when you're ready, in whichever position you've started, up with the shoulders and press them down. Try and keep the neck long And your shoulders are coming up as high as they possibly can. Just have a go with 1 or 2 more. So 3, 4 or 5 normally does the job to loosen, to mobilise the joints without tiring them out. Rolling then up, round, back and down. Try and make that movement as big as you can so that we can get right into that joint. Just showing you a few different angles here. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, pressing the shoulders down at the back end, sliding them all the way down into your back pockets. All right, so remember, these ones can be really, really useful at any given time of the day, depending on what you've been doing. We're going to now move into head turns. So seated or standing, if you prefer to come into seated for this one, due to it challenging your balance, then please feel free to do so. Otherwise, just take up a little bit of support before you get going. So tall posture, feet even, weight even. In the chair, weight even over your bottom as well. So we're glancing over to one side, heading back to the centre. We've got a P and P, haven't we? Pause and a posture. And then over to the other side, pause and a posture. Just by taking stock in the middle of that head turn, just gives us a chance to move slowly through the range available at our neck, to reset and re-establish posture, and it can serve a purpose of keeping you feeling a bit more steady on your feet. Head turns done quickly can bring on some dizziness sometimes. How many are we done? I'll do one more and then I'm even. All right, take a pause there then. Moving on to this all-important neck extender. So we're here at our chin tuck movement. So quite possibly throughout the day we end up with a more rounded posture. So hopefully the shoulders have been sorted out through our shoulder circles backwards, and also our chin may end up jutting forwards, and that knobbly bit on the bottom part of your neck spine can be protruding. So this aims to tuck that away and effectively try and restack the spine. So holding your head in its normal position to begin with. The fingertips guide, or the fingertips can be used as a marker. You may feel a stretch, a bit of a lengthening going on at either side of your spine up into the bottom of your head. And also, just as a bit more of a reference point with this particular movement, if you have a go at this as you're lying in bed, say on a relatively flat pillow, or if you're sat with a high back chair behind you, you're all the way back in the chair, you can use the back of the chair as a bit of a reference point. All right, take a pause there, everyone. Let's throw in a bit of circulation boosting. So arms and legs together if that feels okay for you. Otherwise, start with legs. When you've established those, it can be easier to drip feed one arm in and then the other arm if that feels right for you. And the same in the seat as well. Legs first, it generally gives you an easier kind of transition into using arms and legs together. All limbs working around your posture. Right, we're into our trunk trio. I can't speak today. So we will begin in the chair with the bends, the side bends. If you'd prefer to have your feet a little bit wider, then that's absolutely fine, but the feet are flat, and that's the same in standing. Your checkpoint here is your hips. To keep your hips planted firm into your chair as you take a side bend, with a pause and a posture in the centre. just to take stock, let the brain catch up with the body, if dizziness can be one of your things that you experience. In the standing position then, you might have your support in front of you, one arm by the side. Here's your side bend, bringing up tall in the middle, changing your hand onto that support that's available in front of you, and repeating. If you're okay freestanding, take a bit of a bend into the knees and fix the lower body. If we fix the lower body, then we can move more maximally through the side bend. So this is loosening up your spine. And within any twisting, reaching, bending type motions, there will be some sort of activation, some sort of movement going on in the trunk. So if we have a looser trunk area, a more mobile trunk area, then chances are some of those tasks will become easier. All right, take a pause there. Let's have a go at our trunk twists. So here's your standing option. Arms folded, knees soft, so get down into the knees a little and fix them there. And we have, it's not a huge twist, but there's your unsupported option, aiming to keep the hips facing forwards. Your standing supported option, one arm across, other arm loose by your side, and we've not only got a trunk twist in there, but we can take an extra glance over your shoulder, like you would do if you were going to cross the road, or if you're going to put your seatbelt on. You'd need to see where the seatbelt is before you draw it round, twisting the body. Here's the seated option. So hands in either or of those positions. Pause and a posture in the centre. Keep those shoulders pressed down best you can as we've just set them. How many are you done? I'm going to do one more on the other side, and then I'm even. So 3, 4 or 5 just will normally do for these movements. Right, are we ready for the back extension, people? So back extension, we are going to be going backwards, just a slight range on this. It's not a huge bend, but if you prefer to have your support in front of you, just to give you a bit more reassurance with your balance, then please do that. In the seat, your hands are loosely on the fronts of your legs, or just slightly round the side of your hips. The same if you'd prefer to do this movement in a freestanding, unsupported position. Feet a bit wider, hands into place, shoulders are back and down, we've set them already. The chin, we have the chin tuck, we've set that already. And now we lift, 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 lengthen through the middle bit, and then take a tilt backwards. So it's an extend at the top end. Take a pause in the middle. Up again, so lengthening through, lifting up. Keep your chin down and your eyes focused ahead with that. Just do a couple more if that feels all right for you. So it's kind of like, I describe it as somebody's got you by the scruff of your neck, and we are just leaning away from whoever's got hold of you. Okay, trunk trio, done. Let's have a focus on the ankles, feet and toes now. We'll be loosening the ankles a little bit further now, but let's have a think about how we move through the feet. So, just into some foot pedals. You might want to just bring these a tad slower as you focus on lifting the heel as the knee bends, getting the heel high so that we can see or feel our instep, and we can also see and feel, if we're having a glance down, the toes crease across the top. Okay, if you want, pick it up. So we're going toe, ball, heel. Just get some movement going in that way as well. So we're being really mindful how we place down and also how you lift up each foot there. All right, so if you need a bit of a posture break, then you can come back into the back end of your chair, lift your leg, not too high, soft knee, loose ankle, pointing and pulling back. Try not to move too quickly through each one of these. Really take a moment at the back end and the front end of that movement to really stretch and really pull. In seated, if you're staying in the front end of your chair, light grip on if that feels right for you, and we've got a toe tap and a heel dig onto the same spot. Keep going with that. In standing, we want to avoid this being a balance challenge. If it is a challenge for your balance, then chances are you're perhaps going to lose some of what you're doing with the heel and the toe. I'm lifting my knee quite high just to make sure I'm clearing the floor and that I'm not doing any kind of rocking forwards and back. We of course are getting some ankle movement there, but we take it through its fullest range if we've got a lift and a dig and a lift and a toe tap, light tap on each dig and tap. All right, when you've done 3, 4 or 5 of each of those, take a pause, just stand or sit tall, lifting, lengthening out of your hips. Just give the shoulders a round back and down, a chin tuck to extend the spine. And we're ready for breakfast, the day and our second cup of coffee. That's a little bit cold now. Right, we're all done. Morning routine done. The last one for me on this Sunday morning before shift changes start to take place from tomorrow. So I'll leave you with that, people. You know the rules around here. If you can crowbar, have a think what felt good for you. Have a think what movement is doing the most for you, and crowbar that in maybe 1 or 2 more times throughout the morning. Dave will be with you at midday. Bex is back with you at 4 p.m. today. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.